Welcome to part 4. We're going to set up some UVs on the soccer ball for texturing purposes. In order to set up materials and textures, it's important to make sure that there are proper UVs set up on your object. Geometry in Houdini does not come with UVs by default, therefore you must create them yourself. This means adding extra nodes to the network, which in this case means adding a UV Quickshade and a UV Flatten node. So let's drop this down for the fuse. We want to do this before the fuse, so that we can deal with individual pieces. So we're going to go tab UV Quickshade, and we're going to place that right down here and set up the display. Now by default, this is looking at a grid. We can also go Shift minus if we want to look at that, but it actually looks a little more pleasing like this, so we'll keep it like that. Now the texture map by default is this grid here, but if we click on here, we can go textures, and in this case we're going to go soccer ball, color. RAT is a file format that is used by Houdini for texturing, and we press accept. Now when we bring this in, by default it's not sort of exactly what we want. That's fine. It's just stretched all over the place. We're going to fix that. There were some UVs in place there, but they were brought in by this UV texture map, and they're sort of as a projection, so you can sort of do them at different axes and so on. But we're going to replace that with something else. So we're going to press N to select everything. We're going to go tab UV Flatten. And when we do that, it's going to create all of these. Now what we want to do is we want to see in the background, we want to use the soccer ball rat. And we start to see that some of the soccer balls are in this dark area up here and some of them down here, but they aren't particularly the ones that we need. So what we want to do is in the group field up here, we're going to go at patches are greater than 19. Spell that right. Patches. So now what we're doing is we're focusing on the patches that are there. So that's good. Now if we right click on the handle tool, we'll see that there is an option for a handle. So we're going to grab that, and then we're going to use that handle to move those soccer balls up into the dark area here. So only we're getting those properly done in that area there. Now, we're going to press N. Well, we're going to go to Select Tool, press N, and go tab UV Flatten, and add a second one. Now this time, we're going to go in the same fashion. We're going to go at patches is less than 20. Okay. So now we're focused just on the light patches. We right click on here, we get the handle again, and we can drag these pieces down into this area here. So in doing that, we've now got the dark patches in this area and the light patches in that area there. And when you finish, you can right click and turn that off if you want. You don't need to have to see it for long. Now there's a grid here, so we can't see this texture. Okay, so we're going to right click on here, and we're going to go texture visualization off. And that will allow us to see, in this view anyway, just the textures that we're working with. So we see the textures now. Right now that piece is over there. That's not particularly what we want, but it does show you what's possible. Now if we go back to the handle tool, we'll go back into this, which is what we want to work with. So what we want to do is click on the pin vertice option here, and then we're going to go here and we're going to shift click on that point right there, and that will allow us to get one of these sections. And what we can do then is we can move that over until we get it right there. Then we can click rotate, and we can rotate this around to get what we want. Maybe go T, and just position that accordingly. So what we've done there is we said, well, we know that there's this one piece, there's this one texture in there, so we move that. And then once we have that, we can click on this, which is the repack button. And all the other ones move around, and we've got our texture right there. And actually, let's go rotate again. Just get that lined up with the, there, that lines up better with that. So that's how you can take work with your UVs to get very specific parts of the texture attached to other more specific parts. Now once we have that, we can go back and bypass the Quickshade. It's not really important at the moment. We will come back and look at that later. And then we get our soccer ball here. So all the UVs are set up, and when we go to render this, everything will be ready to go. Now, once we have all this, let's go and put a null object down, and we're going to call this out, geometry out, and set the display flag. So this will be what we grab when we try to bring this somewhere else in other parts of Houdini. Okay, so I hope you had some fun working with UVs. Now we're going to go into the Solaris context and do some rendering.